All right. Hello, hello. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning. How
Sunday
are you all?
morning.
Technically, it's not good morning yet. I
To
mean,
me, it
Oh,
is.
kind of.
ya pasó.
Yeah, good
Okay.
morning.
Good afternoon también.
Yeah. I have to tell you something really funny before we say hello. I went to the HEB here in Corpus, and I went like around this time yesterday, right? But I took off, didn't do my hair, anything, and I was just habit. My grandpa always said, "Saluda a la gente." If someone says good morning, you say good morning. Or I say good morning, and this man told me it's not morning anymore, young lady, unless you just woke up. And I said, well, I woke up early, but I look like I just woke up because I didn't brush my hair this morning. And he started laughing. Anyway, that's my little
Well, good
silly
morning,
story.
Lori. Nice to have you on the show. I know you're busy with your new entrepreneurship. What's it called?
It's called Con Amor Events and Entertainment. So
Yes.
always in our family, we do all kinds of things. So it's hard to call it a one thing. And it sounds crazy for people to understand, but if you've known us, you'd understand. So I'll explain a little more as time goes by. But
All
thank you for
right.
having me.
Yes,
Um,
it's so
Thank
great
you,
to
Mr.
have you.
Balde, so much. I ran into you about a month ago, it's been.
Right, right.
Oh, was that long ago?
And we talked.
So our guest for today, we're doing a part 2 now, and I should put up there, unless you can do it, Lori Jean, and put in the comments the link to the YouTube site, so that anybody who missed part 1, we talked about Mr. Tejano music icon legend Balde Muñoz and his beginnings with Los Fabulosos Cuatro, when he went off to Vietnam, when he came back, Los Únicos, with Laura Canales, with Felicidad, with and the beginnings of Fandango. We talked about your historic brothers that made history in Tejano music, both your brothers, Wally and Oscar. We talked about that. So, any of you that missed that part 1, you go on. Maybe if I have a chance, I'll put on the link. Or go to YouTube, Giras y Desveladas, or it's on Facebook, Giras y Desveladas, and you'll find it there. Very great show. So, saludos, Mr. Balde Muñoz. How are you today? No longer morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Gigi, Lori Jean. It's a pleasure to be here with you all again, ¿verdad? Sí, on our first interview, pues of course, we discussed all that desde los 60s hasta los 80s, y ahí se acabó el tiempo. ya no
Sí.
podemos seguir más con Fandango, ¿verdad? So you asked me to join again for, a little bit of Fandango USA refreshing, right? A ver de qué me acuerdo, a ver si me acuerdo. Pero it's a pleasure to be here y como siempre, un placer verlas y saludarles y las felicito once again because this show is tremendous. And I want to thank all the guys who have been here with you guys because it's history making, ¿verdad? O
Yes.
es historia que se va a quedar grabada. Maybe one day you guys are going to write a book, right? Who knows? All the interviews, right? Bueno,
Yes.
ya le estoy dando ideas a Mrs. Entrepreneurs.
Sí, sí.
Well,
They get a disclaimer, ¿cómo se dice los músicos? Y bueno, si vendo, pues te doy un centavo de cada libro.
Ándale, ándale. Así
It
como royalties,
it will
point
be
zero
an
zero
interesting
one.
book.
well, thank you, for joining us, and thank you for your kind words. But more than anything, this show is what it is because of you guys and your stories. And you're absolutely right. When people reference the Helno music now, that there's so much going on now with the younger generation and people, now that can see you through a platform such as this. People will reference and ask, and you're putting it out here, and at least they know where to start if they're looking for information. And what a
Right.
blessing that it's coming from straight from you guys, not from somebody's uncle's cousin's best friend's mother's neighbor. You know, it's
Yes.
and primary source that is invaluable. So thank you for coming back and sharing, because there was so much. There was so
No,
much.
it's my greatest pleasure to be here, and I feel honored and humbled by your invitation. So here we are.
Yes, thank you so much, Este. And like you said, this is history in the making because, and like Lori said, this is being documented. You know, it's nobody's writing a book yet, but possibly in the future. But this is history in the making because, and the most important part, like Lori said, it's coming from you guys. You all are the ones telling the story of the beginnings of Tejano music, of our culture, of what is near and dear to our hearts because we are Americans of Mexican descent, and Tejano music represents us. So, all right,
Right.
now for those of you that don't know, Mr. Balde Muñoz is the Charanga King, and we had that in our promo, Charanga King. And I'm not too sure now. Mr. Balde Muñoz sent me some pictures again because he's good at having pictures. And just to let you all know, anybody who has missed part one, this is part two. This man, this Tejano icon, has been blessed with many awards. I'm just going to show a few right here. That's at the Brownsville Legacy Awards, Music
Right.
Legacy Awards. You will recognize there. You were recognized. Let's see, what is that? The city of Edinburgh.
That's
Recognized by
the
the city of
city of
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. They have a they call it the Walk of Fame, donde
Yes.
ya están muchos otros artistas ahí, ¿verdad? Y
Sí.
también hace 2 años, 2 years ago, I was honored with the invitation, and it was along with Bobby Pulido and Ricardo Guzman the second, and myself. So eventually they put stars on a sidewalk there, right? And it's a
Let's
real
see.
nice thing que hace the city of Edinburgh.
There you
And
go. Walk of Fame in the city of Edinburgh.
mhm,
Ese, ¿verdad? Yes.
That
sí.
is so cool. That is
And
so cool.
They have
Wow.
they have a site there, location where they have a lot of artists already, like Carlos Guzman, the late Laura Canales, and a whole bunch, a lot of artists. And
Yes. So anybody who hasn't been out there, be sure to go out there and check that out. City
Mhm.
of Edinburgh is really, really. They were recognized as the All American City, and they are a lot into the arts. As a matter of fact, I was volunteering at the South Texas International Film Festival. They're trying to do a Hollywood here in the Valley in the 956, and it was 3 days of the event. So they're really
Wow.
encouraging the artists, music, the arts, and it's a wonderful thing. So anybody who hasn't been out there to the Walk of Fame, we recommend you going out there. Now, Mr. Balde Munoz, you were also, not only are you a hero in the Tejano music, you're a hero to us because
So
you served. Look at that picture, Lori Jean. It looks like straight
Yes,
from a
absolutely.
magazine. Yeah,
Yeah,
tell us. Yeah,
I
tell us
remember
where
you
that's at, Mr. Munoz.
you put down your instrument for the service. You were
Mm.
called up to the service.
yes, I ran into that picture and I said, well, it's part of history, right?
Yes,
And
it is.
actually, I know your this podcast and this platform is being watched all over the world. And
Yes.
if not now, in the very near future. Y ahora with all this electronics and all these things, como en ese tiempo when I was there, we couldn't communicate to to our homes only by letter, right?
Hmm.
And, that was it. And nowadays, all the soldiers all over the world, they can be watching us right now, right? So le quería
Yes.
mandar un saludo a todos los veteranos, all the people who are serving all over the world, and of course, all the vets who are here, after they served their time. Muchos que fueron a Vietnam también y vinieron a Iraq, Afghanistan, everywhere they've been. Un saludo de parte de su amigo Balde Muñoz. And please join us for Giras y Desveladas every Sunday.
Thank you, Nunes. Yes. Here's another picture of you, sir, and
Oh,
stay.
wow.
Look at that. You were young. You look like
That
you're
was the
about
before
12.
and after pictures.
Eh?
Yeah,
You
that
look
was
like
the
you're about
before, and
12.
the other one was the after.
See,
Yeah,
Oh,
right
I
here
was
you were here.
23.
Right here you started, and then right here it was.
I, well,
You can tell now. And
I
you
was,
told me something about that. That's actually the clouds behind you because you're high on a
oh,
mountain.
mhm.
yes, I was in on a hill, well, a little village called Chulai, Vietnam. That was on a hill out there in the boonies, and that was on top of the hill. The background was the clouds, the clouds behind us.
Wow. And you know, the valley has such a rich history of, um, such a rich military history. Everyone we know had an uncle or a brother or a father, especially Vietnam. There's so many Hispanics um,
Right,
that that were drafted, and for various reasons. You mentioned in the last episode, and this is just something in general in history. Um, if you already had a sibling drafted, then you didn't have to go, or if you were enrolled in college, or there were those are just general historical
right,
facts.
right,
And but you were called up, as were so many
right. A
Hispanics.
lot,
And
yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but I remember I knew someone that was writing a book at the time, UTRGV. He was writing about this, and he said Hispanics participated the most, but were the least awarded.
Yep.
But that was 20 years ago. I know things change a little bit, but I don't think they've changed that much. But I thought that was significant, especially since you were part of that um,
Yeah,
war.
it was a unpopular war for a lot of folks. So ni modo, ¿verdad? Ya pasó.
Yes, and so many Tejano legends. Mike went to the war, went to Vietnam. So many of you all were drafted, and then you come back and you keep playing music. You pick up, and some don't. Some don't continue. But
Right.
Well,
you
I
did
think
mention
I
that.
think it's been my observation that a lot of the Tejano pioneers were actually in the service. So I think being out there serving the United States, I think being in the military might have, I don't know, I wasn't there, but I'm thinking, I'm going to ask you because you were there. I'm thinking that Hispanic normally that would not have been available or been able to go to, across the ocean, was able to do that and kind of opened up the worlds and come back and say, well, you know what, I am somebody and this is my music, and that's how a lot of the Tejano starts being created because they realize that they have their own identity. You realize it out there once because as you well know, like anybody, like you go to college and all of a sudden you're exposed to all kinds of races and you become more you when you're around other races. Was that am I hitting on something? Because I think that's part of an observation that I've made, that being exposed to so many other cultures, you want to be more you, and maybe that's where Tejano started. That's where people started saying, "Hey, we're not, you know, we're not Elvis Presley. We're not the Beatles. You
Uh,
know,
to begin with, over there, we're all brothers, right?
yeah,
Regardless of race, color.
yeah,
I mean, you're brothers, and you're taking care of your brothers, or they're taking care of you. And to me, everybody was the same. In other words,
yeah,
todos éramos soldados que estábamos, doing our part to defend our freedom, our the democratic way of the United States, right?
yeah,
And pues cuando regresamos, of course, pues regresé con mi raza aquí, ¿verdad? Pues la música ya había sido a great part of my life before I left. And I think I mentioned it last time. My plan wasn't to come back and play, music. I wanted to get my degree. I had already gone a couple of years to Penn Am College at the time, right? pero me junté con los camaradas diablitos músicos y me
Es que eso
convencieron,
no se
¿verdad?
puede evitar.
No, pero there's no regrets, of course, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I I was blessed to have a job which I love, right? No
Yes.
era, I mean, era trabajo, you know, and there's stress and all kinds of stuff, right? But once you were on stage, you all know, right? When you guys, both of you are vocalists,
Yes.
oops, se apagó la cosa aquí.
Oh
Uh-oh.
yeah. It's No, you're fine.
You're there. Can you see
Yeah.
us?
I can't see you.
Try moving the little cursor on the computer. It might have just your screen might have just like gone to sleep or something.
Yeah. We can see you and hear you fine.
Just click on a button. Just click on any button.
Really?
Yeah, let's see. Just click on something.
On something. I don't want to turn it off.
No, click on like the space bar. Did it come back?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
It went to
Hi
sleep.
again.
All right.
My
IT.
computer does that.
IT Lori. All right.
But you
With
said
that little break, we're gonna, like, we talked about your history and all that basically in part one. What we really need to talk about, and very curious now, I don't know which is the album. ¿A cuál fue el album de Fandango USA that made that iconic song La Charanga? Was it this one?
Yeah, that was the one we released with La Charanga.
This is the one? Class act, La Charanga. Now, talk to us about this. You had already been with Los Fabulosos Cuatro. You'd been with Los Únicos. You'd been with Laura Canales y Felicidad, and you end up with Fandango. How did La Charanga come about? Who wrote it? As a matter of fact, I don't even know who wrote it.
Somebody wrote it, not us, right? But that was a song that mi compadre Hugo Guerrero, the vocalist, had heard it. Actually, he was from Laredo, right? Laredo, Texas, and he used to play congas with a club band. There were a lot of clubs in Laredo, and the vocalist in that band, by the name of Sergio something, used to sing that song, La Charanga, but years, probably in the 70s or something. Excuse me. And una vez me dijo, ¿sabes qué? Hay una canción que está media peppy, right? Y dijo, pues se llama La Charanga, but I don't know the lyrics, right? We don't have the lyrics, so he called his mom in Laredo. She went to Nuevo Laredo, and she researched and found the lyrics. So then we learned it, right? And also a band que se llama Aniceto Molina from somewhere in Mexico. They had recorded that song, right? Al estilo, de ellos. So when we made the arrangement, we decided to put a little rock beat in there in the middle, and Hugo was the only one who could do all the blah, 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 whatever.
Oh my gosh, it's a very hard song. I'm going to do that song at karaoke. If Mr. Noyola is watching, I'm going to come to karaoke one day and do that song.
So we recorded the song, right? And it turned out, we didn't know. I mean, en ese tiempo, los conjuntos eran conjuntos de acordeón, tocaban rancheras con, boleros and guapangos and stuff. Y los Tejanos, pues there was a big orchestras, right? Sonny and Freddie Martinez and, Little Joe and all that. Y tocaban sus cumbias and things. Pero todavía no había, like today, que I all this kind of rap and whatever, and reggaeton y all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So we decided to do this faster rhythm, right? It's like a merengue style. Uh-huh. So let's throw it in there and see what happens, right? So we did, and la compañía was kind of like, no, yeah, if you want to record it, whatever, right? So, but they were always very supportive, though. So we did record it, and they put it out on a 45. Actually, it was at that time, the 45 records had an A side and a B side, right?
Yeah.
And usually the DJs would go with the A side, you know. It was what the record label would recommend, right? Play the A side, right?
Uh-huh.
When Charanga was the B side, you know. So I told Freddie, look, in El Baile, we started playing it, and people would kind of like look at us like, what's that? But they would kind of get on the dance floor and just jump around and do whatever. They're not free for all, right? And rhythm
Like a mosh pit, sir. Like a no, I'm kidding. We're just
Mexican mosh pit.
I told the company record label, digo, mira, el baile, people get kind of excited with that song because it's repetitious and it's
Catchy.
funny or you know something.
super catchy, super
the-
catchy.
And but anyway, regardless, we were on the B side. But the DJ started playing it, and it just caught fire, right? You know, it just
Oh, that is such a okay. So I love that song. And in just a minute, remind me, Gigi. There's people watching that have said hello, but I have to tell you this, sir. That's the I love that story, and you throw in the rock and roll. Oh man, that your version, and there are many versions, but y'all's version is my favorite version. It's badass, as my dad would say. But my daughter works here in Corpus for a TV station, right? And there's a weatherman there. I won't say his name, but he's like my favorite weather person. She said he plays that song, that he gets in the zone and he's like real busy. He's an excellent weather person, but that he plays charanga, the charanga, so that when he's working. And I said, shut up, because I told her we were gonna have you on today. And then she said, oh, the weather guy plays that song charanga all the time. I thought that was funny because he's not Hispanic.
as a matter of fact,
And he's not even from Texas, I don't think, or like
oh really?
this area.
As a matter of fact, last week, I saw Rudy Trevino, right?
Oh yes,
The Tejano goal, and he was about ready to start his news, the news, and they had Charanga on the air. You know, I said, oh wow, he's getting piped up or what? Something.
Yes. I make the mistake of sometimes when I work on things late, I can't listen to that song late at night because then I have to listen to it again and again and again and again. And then I have trouble going to sleep because I get too excited. So I tell myself no more charanga after 8 o'clock. No more.
You know, a lot of good things happened with that song for Fandango USA, right? First of all, it kept us working more and more, and which was great, right? Porque no todo el tiempo estaba así, you know. Pues you all know, right? Sometimes no hay muchas tocadas. You know. Anyway, it helped us a lot. And we did several things, like in San Antonio había un award show, se llamaba Pura Vida, Pura Vida Awards, and it was at the Majestic Theater, I guess, downtown. And on that show, they asked us to open the award show with La Charanga, but we weren't playing. The thing is, we were singing. Anyway, let me make it simple. Más simple. The band playing was the San Antonio Symphony. It was a 96-piece, orchestra.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Hugo Herrero was singing up front, and the rest of the band, we were doing the charanga, the voices. And we had an actor, I don't know if you're familiar with Jesse Borrego, and he's been in a lot of movies. He was a choreographer, and they had 3 couples dancing on stage, La Charanga, and Hugo was singing it, we were singing it, and the orchestra, the symphony was playing the music. It was fantastic. 96-piece orchestra.
Wow, that's incredible. I think I came across that on YouTube the last time we talked.
Oh, see.
You told us about some things, and I went back and I found the one with
Maria. Oh, really? You did? Because I haven't seen it.
I could have sworn I found the one with the symphony. We'll have to put that on.
I guess I must have talked about it. También with the Farsa Juan Alamo High School. that we did something. Did I talk about that last
Yes.
time?
Oh man, I wish we had a video of that. That is
Yes.
so crazy because the Valley high school bands and so many we talked about mentioned this also many times because the fine arts programs are incredible in the
Right.
Valley.
So, yes.
Um, but your
It was
story's the first
great.
one I heard that integrates.
Another thing, we were invited to a Houston fundraiser for President Clinton, and they hired us to play not for him, but for some of the folks. They had different rooms in that building, so we entertained some of the folks who went to the fundraiser. But it was a big honor for us to haven't been invited to play, but toda
Trying to
raza
find that picture. I do have that picture of
That
you
is
with President
amazing.
Clinton, pero no lo encuentro.
While you're looking for that, Gigi, I don't have the information on the screen for who's watching, but I do have some comments. We have Veronica Hernandez says, "Oh, there we go."
Oh,
Oh,
listen, I am gonna apologize
no
to.
problem. I have to say
I
hello
only
to
have one
Perez real
comment.
quick.
That yes,
Hi, Mr. Sam Perez. He follows me on TikTok, and I posted Mr. Balde on TikTok.
well,
So thank
yes.
you for watching. He's Prt.2 Getaway. He's always traveling all over. He was in Alaska. It's
Thank you
incredible.
for
Thank
watching,
you
Mr.
so much
Perez.
for watching.
Yes.
But Gigi, I am gonna shout out to the people here that
Yeah, do the shout out because that's
Okay.
all I have, guys, and I apologize for that. I don't know how that ended up happening,
It's
but
okay. I have my glasses on today, so you can see them. So Veronica Hernandez, good afternoon from Mission, Texas. Mr. Carlos Guzman, he says, I love you all. Hello, Mr. Guzman.
oh, hello,
Nena Pena says, hello, y'all.
hello, Miss
And
Peña.
she says, I can see you all. And Mr. Tony J, we go way, way back. He is awesome. He says, saludos, Balde. Dios te bendiga. Cuídate. So, hey, Mr. Tony J, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, and thanks for joining us. And so, yeah, we have Mr. Balde here. And, my dad always called. I know we've mentioned all the bands that you've been with, but my dad always says, you are a badass. Oh, excuse my language. That's how he describes you guys, that you're amazing, that he looked up to you all, and what an influence you have been. And, the stories you share with us, thank you so much. Bands today go through struggles, like you say right now. Sometimes there's tocadas, sometimes there's not. Then you get new singers. We mentioned that this episode you were going to talk about. I made some notes from the first episode. There's a strategy behind the music. You have a plan, you work on the strategy. And I think that's a big part of your success. So while Gigi's looking for that photo,
Yeah, let's see. Maybe it's this one. Here we go. Look at that.
that wow.
Not a lot of people can say what they did, what you did. You went out there. Yeah.
well, it was a big honor for us.
Oh, yeah. For all of us, because you represent all of us. And so it was an honor for all of us to have you there. That's the way I feel. I don't know about you. You feel the same, Lori.
Oh, absolutely. Because when you see someone that, y'all do such a beautiful job of representing us, and being from the Valley, being, Mexican American, the music that we say is our culture.
Yes.
You're taking that, and the president of the United States.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
I think we should all celebrate our successes, and yes, so that was an honor for all of us. Even though we weren't there, it was an honor. Yeah.
If you notice, the president is kind of tall, right?
Look at that, yeah. Yes.
What was that like meeting him? I mean, I know you said it's an honor, of course.
You just feel like so honored, right? To shake his hand, right? And he shook everybody's hand, and thank you guys, and this and that and whatever, right? But of course, it was just for a few minutes because the all the securities and around, and I mean
Vámonos.
he was, he was he was gracious enough to come meet us, right? And we had the opportunity to meet him. Let me put it that way, right? And it was
Right.
an honor to meet him and shake his hand and look up at him, right? Because he was kind of tall.
That is amazing. And what were the people like at that event? Because as a musical, every event is different, and I've heard
Yes.
people say some are more fun to
The
play for
thing,
than others.
the thing was that he was in a big ballroom or whatever it was. We were on a separate room, and they was kind of outside, and la raza estaba ahí con nosotros, right? And I guess they probably walked in and out, or I don't know what, because we didn't have anything to do with the big money people, right? We were entertainers, entertaining outside. Well, sort of outside in another room, but of course, at the end, we met him.
Wow. Were the people dancing and dancing? Do you
A
remember
little
that night?
bit, yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah, yeah.
Did they
Wow.
know how to dance? How do you dance, Charanga?
But
I'm
it's
sure.
I'm gonna try to play it for anybody who doesn't know what the charanga is. I'm gonna try. So give me a chance here. Share the screen and oh, we've got a commercial.
Commercials make me
Sorry about
hungry.
that. I need to switch to my other plan.
That's okay. It's just gonna make me hungry.
me too.
Switch to Chrome to load
Oh,
your favorite
Lord.
sites fast, so you can browse with ease. Fast, safe,
Note to self:
Just
switch
skip.
to the plan that has the no commercials. Something went wrong. Lovely.
It's okay. I'm sure, Gigi, everybody's heard of
If
the
you have not heard La Charanga,
and
that's
the version of Fandango USA, like
right, exactly. And
it's
this
epic.
is the song that put. I mean, of course, you're already on the map, Mr. Balde Muñoz.
Oh, man.
Y nos vamos para ahí. Yo nunca había bailado, pero hoy en día me he entusiasmado con ese ritmo de la charanga, porque me he dado cuenta que hasta los cocos botan la mula y se sienten buenos cuando la bailan. Yo nunca había bailado, pero hoy en día me he entusiasmado con ese ritmo de la charanga, porque me he dado cuenta que hasta los cocos botan la mula y se sienten buenos cuando la bailan. Charanga, en la costa se goza mucho con charanga. Charanga, en la costa se goza mucho con pach.
All right, if that doesn't get you going, I don't know what will.
That's my
Because
favorite. That's my favorite to listen to when I'm when I go walk in the neighborhood. I just put it on.
that is a catchy tune, and of course, you had a lot of other hits with Fandango USA, but I mean, that was. That was I think that put you on the map as I mean
Sí,
we
claro.
lovingly call you the Charanga Kings, for a reason.
No, well, we call Hugo the Charanga King. He's the one that did all
Well,
the
you-
rapping.
Well, but he did rap it, but
It
you're
was-
part of the Fandango.
Yeah, it was my band. It's there was some crazy things that happened. Well, not crazy. I mean, they're good for us. Like in West Texas, we were playing an outdoors concert, and it was when the charanga was real hot, right? So we played it. Y pues la gente andaba salte y salte, ¿verdad? Brinque, brinque. And then so pues terminamos la canción, and they wanted for us to play it again. So I'm not bragging or anything, but we had to play it 3 times, and then we just said no, we got some more.
There's other songs.
In Las Vegas with the National Convention of the Tejano Music, que hace David y Sarah Chavez.
Yes.
But this was back in the late 90s, right? We performed there at this was that time it was at the Bally's Casino. So of course we sang the Charanga, right, with Fandango USA, but this was like a big auditorium type. So people got up and they were dancing on the aisles like un trenecito, right? You know.
Oh, wow.
Like
Right.
a conga.
Yeah, it was fun, a lot of fun.
Wow. Oh man. I bet that must have been awesome to hear that live. But
It was.
like Gigi said, there were so many, other hits, but in the bigger picture, it's amazing that you were a part of so many groups that had so many hits with people that are so well known, like
Yes.
Snowball, and of course, the Queen of Tejano and
Laura Canales and yeah.
Los Únicos, and I mean,
I
gosh,
was very blessed to have shared the stage with a lot of musicians, right? A lot. And to this day, like we call each other, or they call me, or I call them, or we run into each other, like Cecilio, right? Like your late, Juan Guerrero, and a lot of friends, and a lot of different vocalists with Fandango USA. As a matter of fact, mi compadre Hugo
Yeah.
wasn't the only one, right? And I can name a few, and
Name them.
si me acuerdo, ¿verdad? Pues,
We wanted to talk also. I have this picture right here, and you mentioned it before. You're
Yes,
not
it's-
in that picture of Fandango.
right. You see, back in 1999, I suffered a heart attack, right?
oh,
And it's a funny story, a soap opera story, or whatever. The thing is, my daughter Marisa was getting married, right? And we were working here at the house doing stuff, and she got married on a Saturday, but like around 2 o'clock, I will see. And the day before, I want to make it as short as possible, right? The day before, I was feeling bad, right? So I went to see a doctor, y me sacaron sangre and all the stuff, and me dijeron, we'll call you in the morning to see what we find out. And if we find out something, that you need to come in, so we'll let you know. Pues andaba yo trayendo mi tuxedo, whatever, for the wedding, cuando me habló el cardiologist himself. Dijo, you gotta come in to the hospital. And we found whatever on your enzymes. ¿Quién sabe qué palabrotas usó? Dije, no,
Hay tamales. Encontramos tamales en las venas.
If my daughter's getting married in a couple hours,
oh
so
my
no, you
God.
have to come in. Anyway, to make a long story short, my daughter and my wife, my family convinced me to go to the hospital. And sure enough, me metieron y I was suffering a heart attack, right? So,
My
and my daughter wanted to cancel the wedding. Y le dije, no, hombre, cásense, I'm okay now, right? Me pusieron un stent nomás, right? So I was okay. And, but because it seemed like a soap opera, my wife stayed with me there, and my daughter, le dije, anda, cásate, ya está todo, los invitados, está todo, I'm okay. So after the wedding, there they come, my daughter and her husband, que ella con vestido blanco ahí por
Oh, wow.
the hospital, right? Like,
Oh my
everybody
goodness.
would look at, I wonder what's going on here. There's a girl in a wedding dress in the hospital. So anyway,
See?
but
Really like novela style.
yeah, una soap opera.
Yeah.
No, pero
With
it worked out.
Yeah, with a happy ending. That's
Yeah.
amazing that you went and got yourself checked, though, because a lot of people don't get themselves checked, and then we've had some things happen recently, and with the friend, and that they don't get themselves checked, and some do. It's just very recent. But when you don't, gosh. But
Yeah, you feel bad. So
imagine.
a lesson to learn from this: if you feel bad, go get checked.
Right. So
Yeah.
the reason I mentioned all that is because of the picture you just showed.
Yeah.
See, we see it again. So of course the doctor told me, the cardiologist, look, you gotta take it easy, no stress, y que quién sabe qué, and all that. Y pues, you know, when you're running a band and stuff, and pues it's stress, huh? There's problems that occur and this and that. So, dije, pues I need a drummer, right? For the gigs, the future gigs that we had. And the first one I could think of was Lalo Reina, the third. Yo creo he's the third. Lalito lo conocemos nosotros, ¿verdad? Or Lalito, because his parents, Lalo Reina and Diana, right? They were fans of the Los Únicos, you know, the Snowballing Company, of course, the late Laura Canales, and well, they
I
got
think
married.
even Lalo Reina had a fan club de Laura Canales, ¿no?
Sí,
Yeah,
Lalo.
he's the president of the fan club.
And Lalo would record music, the fandango, you know, the late Laura, the Los Únicos, and he would show. Lalito was a tiny little baby, right? So he would play the music to him, and he started playing drums at a very young age. I don't know if I talked about this last time, but como quiera, he grew up knowing all the songs of fandango, all the songs, all those bands, right, that I played with. And when that happened to me, I said, "Colalito," you know. So he was there, and he just stepped in. You know, he didn't skip a beat.
He didn't flinch.
He took over
And
for a while.
Plays, for those people that don't know who that is, you want to tell them who that is, Mr. Balde?
Sure.
Now?
Now he's of course a very smart businessman. He's a great super drummer, right, and producer, and he plays keyboards and he sings, and he's the husband of Elida Reina, right, and they've been touring back and forth for years, and they have big plans for next year. We were just talking with them last week. We met, and with him and Elida, and they have a lot of good plans. So all of you fans out there, the Elida Reina, stay tuned because they're coming up with some big things for next year.
That's exciting.
Yes,
And they're both great people. Elida and Lalito, they're puro corazón y no demuestran.
Hard workers.
Yeah,
They're
really
still out there. Yeah.
But how amazing that his tie goes back to, you know, of course, his dad, who has the chapters of the Tejano Legend Pioneers.
I was just about to mention that, Lori. You read my mind.
Yeah, like he, you know, to know that he starts out with you, who are a legend in your own right, and the influence you have, and, you know, I'm sure that played a big part. Well, I can't speak for him, but I mean, look what he's still doing.
Yes, that
itself.
Back in 2017, Lalo they were from Corpus, right? And they moved to the Valley, and we met, you know, because we've been friends forever. So we went al café, you know, we fuimos a tomar café. Y me dijo, you know, en Corpus me mencionó unos nombres, you know, Lencho and this, also, mi compadre, que tienen una organización de Tejano Pioneers que se juntan ahí a almorzar y quién sabe qué. Dijo, I want to start another one here in the Valley. Y dice, ¿me ayudas? And le dije, yeah, whatever you need, let's get together. So ahí empezó chapter 2, ¿verdad? The Tejano Legend Pioneers. And now he just called me yesterday. There's 30 chapters.
30 chapters, yes.
All over the country, and
With Dolores Loli, yes. Chapter 30.
Yeah, so he's very dedicated to that organization. He's always on the phone with all the representatives that want people taking care of the chapters and everything. So, you know, I'm proud of the guy. He's a hard worker and he's a go-getter, you know.
Sí.
And
saludos a Mr. Lalo Reina.
Sí, claro que sí, un saludo porque also a Vietnam vet, right? Lalo. He's a Vietnam vet.
Well, thank you for your service también. And then from there, I know you have some activities coming up, and because they asked, I know for sure because I was there, they asked if the Legends could put a band together, and this is what Mr. Balde Muñoz put together. It's called the Tejano Pioneers Tribute Band, con Oscar Solís, Balde Muñoz, Faustino Tino Estrada, Miro Valdés, Mario Sáenz, Ramiro Garza, of course, Carlos Guzman. This is special, a Laura Canales tribute from Marisela Hernandez and, of course, Mario Montes. And that sounds like something that nobody should miss. That sounds like a
Yes.
really,
Well,
yes.
first of all, Gigi, thank you for helping me work on that poster.
It
Yeah,
was, you're
you're the
welcome.
brains behind the poster there. You know, we got
No, no, no.
together.
We need to explain. I was with my phone designing this flyer, and Mr. Balde Muñoz was across the table from me, and he was with a pencil and paper making a design as well, and we were gonna collaborate and see what we would come up with. Well, I show him this design, and he shows me on paper the exact same thing.
Oh,
It was a great moment. We're like, wow.
I
I guess
know.
that's the design.
Sí,
That's it.
sí, Gigi me dijo, mira, mira el phone. Y le dije, pues mira mi papel. We were thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the exact same thing. Yeah.
That is so funny. That is so funny.
So
Real quick, we also have Mary Lou says, hi, everybody. Hi, Mary Lou.
I'm ready.
Nina Pena says, glad you're doing okay, Balde. And then we have someone, Veronica Hernandez, who's saying hello to Mary Lou. So thank you guys that are watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you didn't catch the whole thing, you can watch it on YouTube or on the Facebook page later or on Tejano TV. So just in case. But
Sam Perez also going back. He said you're very welcome. I don't remember now what he was welcoming me about, but also, and then he said, and it's Sunday,
no
so no
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Oh, when I was running the ad.
I know. I have to wait till
Yes.
tomorrow. That's the worst part. Don't you want Chick-fil-A more on Sundays?
Yeah, it's exactly what you can't have is what you want more. So that is definitely a winner. And let's see. And oh yes, Mr. Perez says thank you so much for your service, Balde, and we appreciate everybody. And as a matter of fact, great segue. The tribute band, this wonderful tribute band, I can't wait to hear it, is gonna be performing at the Veterans celebration in the city of Edinburgh. Is that correct, Mr. Balde Muñoz?
Yes, November the 2nd, si Dios quiere.
Yes.
Let me
So,
write that down.
I'm going to try to get back on the drums after 20 years.
hijos.
So, but no,
Wow.
I'm very blessed and lucky that I found this gentleman. All these guys, they're part of them. They have a band, a tremendous rock and roll band called the Fabulous Cruisers.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh, the Cruisers, yes,
Yeah, the
they're
Cruisers.
incredible.
And of course, Miro Valdez was a guitar player with Romance. He's there too. So we have Ram on keyboards and Mario Science on guitar and Miro también on guitar and Tino on bass and myself on the drums. Oscar Solis will be playing the accordion, keyboards, and we're gonna back up Carlos Guzman and some of his hits, and of course Maricela is gonna sing a tribute to Laura Canales.
I
And
would
then
go.
Mario
I
Montes is
can't
going
wait
to
to hear
do
that.
some romance songs. It's going to be fun. Yes. And then
Yes.
later in December, si Dios quiere, December the 7th, we do with the city of FAR, the FAR PD, the toy drive. So that's going
Yes.
to be at the FAR, Pepe Salinas Event Center in FAR. Also with that, the Delta Boys and Electro Band and the tribute band, the Tejano Pioneer tribute band.
Yes,
So
that's gonna be
¿cómo nos
great.
va? A ver cómo nos va.
That
Pero
is
no,
Oh,
exciting.
looking forward to it. So anybody out there who's going to Balde's page, or I'll try to share also as well, so that for those of you, go out there. This tribute band, and honestly, I can't wait. Maricela Hernandez, she's a great vocalist. I can't wait to hear her versions of Laura Canales. That's so exciting. So, and también, pues, Mario Montes, Romance, pues, ¿qué se puede decir? All these guys, Mario Science, well, of course, just if you want to just go see Mr. Carlos Guzman himself, he's an icon. So I think that's really wonderful what you're doing. I'm excited to hear and watch you guys perform. Y qué bueno que todavía lo están haciendo porque pues I speaking from my dad's experience, he never stopped being a musician. You retire or maybe you slow down, but you don't ever stop. You can't stop that. It's what you are. It's what you are.
Pues es parte de la vida de nosotros, ¿verdad? Que we, like I said before, that was my job for over 40 years. And it was I call it a job, but it wasn't, I mean, it was work, but it was, once you get on stage, the adrenaline and all that takes over. Even if te flateaste ahí, y llegas con las manos llenas de aceite, whatever, truck or something, but you got to get up on stage and do your part, right?
And you love it. And it's funny you say that. When we interviewed David Lee Garza, he said that a lot of his friends he told us a story that they had started retiring and that they asked him, when are you going to retire? And he said, well, I don't work. That it's work, but it's music. So it's a different kind of work.
Right.
But you're right. It is. It takes a lot, that people mentioned before. You do everything. You do moving the instruments and loading, unloading, booking, and then the show itself. And then you do everything when you're a part of it, but you love it. And I have to mention the gentleman that's joining us on YouTube. He's from Prt.2 also, because I mentioned Mr. David Lee Garza, and he was in a band as well. But it's amazing how, you say you're going back to FAR. This band is going to perform there. And when our first episode, you said that you were a little young boy, that you and Mr. Oscar would go watch bands perform on a platform.
Yes.
And the families would go. And it was in FAR. And you said that's where you first heard a lot of the things that you learned. And Look at y'all. How does that feel, going back to the same place, where it starts?
Right. Well, it's a lot of memories, and I don't know. It just feels good to have done it, right? And to whatever level we got, it's fine. I'm content, right? No somos millonarios, no nada, but we made a living, ¿verdad? Como muchos grupos, ¿verdad? And I was blessed to have shared the stage, como les dije, con muchos desde que empecé, right? Like Gigi mentioned a while ago, all those guys, and. Con Fandango, we started just a little bit of history, right? In 1986, and we were doing with Grupo Felicidad with Laura Canales, and she decided to go back to school and pursue other areas in her life. She nos ayudó hasta the end of 1985, so we played together. But then in 86, I had already heard Hugo Guerrero sing yo creo les platiqué, he was playing with Johnny Hernandez and Third Coast. Johnny had a big, el hermano de Little Joe.
Mm-hmm. We had him on the show as well.
Sí, so awesome. To make a long story short, Hugo became our vocalist in January 1986. And we recorded de volada, ¿verdad? Fuimos a grabar and pues tocaron. The first release era Yo no te pido la luna, la canción.
Oh, yeah.
Ever played. So we kept on working, of course, with the help of my late brother, Oscar, he would book our bands. But I gotta give thanks to all the guys who were in Fandango with me. I mean, there's a lot of guitar players, bass players, and drummers also. After I got sick, right? Pero de los vocalistas era Hugo Guerrero empezó, then he left, he made his own band, and our great friend Wale Garza, singer, took over for a while. As a matter of fact, he helped me in Edinburgh when we did that Hall of Fame thing. He sang La Charanga.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's a great drummer, but yo lo vi que tocaba country. We lo invité que if he wanted to be the vocalist. So he came in and took over. And then I had another gentleman later, Alberto Gonzalez from Brownsville, as our vocalist. And of course, we recorded different albums with all these guys, right? And Alberto now is the second voice, Joe Lopez, Mas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he shares the stage with Joe Lopez. And Wale, he's got his own band, right?
I see Wallace still performing.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. And I had Bobby Sanchez also, and his brother
Oh,
Steve, the late brother Steve,
oh,
played drums
wow.
for us for a while. And then I had well, of course, Maritza, my daughter, and Bobby. Bobby Sanchez and Maritza were my two front people, right? Vocalists for a while. And the últimos, Joey Fuentes from Far. He was a great rock and roll singer, pero man se aventaba para cantar. And anyway, after that, I just stopped Fandango. It was just, ya los tiempos se habían cambiado, and and anyway, several reasons for that. So, vale más ya pararle. Pero those guys, pero I had a lot of guitar players and bass players. I could be here naming them
All day. Let me
Pero
go through some of the
last-
pictures real quick that you sent me, Balde, porque I don't want to close, me mandaste de Fandango USA, esta versión, and then this one,
Oh, that is awesome. Look at that.
and yes, and then this one.
Yeah, those were like Alberto Gonzalez was the vocalist, the late Jerry de la Rosa keyboardist, Beto de la Cruz on bass, and Carlos Lopez from Austin was on guitar. And so you see, I had different aquí está Beto de la Cruz, myself, Hugo, and Carlos Lopez. And
Oh, we didn't mention this, Balde.
Mande?
Esto, the My Tejano Awards.
Oh yes, back in también 2017, Mike Flores and Estela, right there, they take care of the M&E Productions. They're
¿Y
about
se avientan?
Mande?
¿Y se avientan?
Se avientan. So anyway, we formed a nonprofit organization. Se llama Tejano Music Hall of Fame Awards. So we started producing awards here in the Valley because no había mucho, shows. Pues en San Antonio, sabes, están eso, y en Alice también, Tejano Roots. So we had some very nice awards here in the Valley, 2017, 18, and 19. Pero los members, of course, is Mike Flores, Estela Flores, y Lalo Reina estaba ahí, and Mando San Román, and myself. So we produced, we call it My Tejano Awards. And it was very nice, and a lot of art. We brought a lot of our artists de fuera del pueblo, of course.
Yeah.
Y les damos el reconocimiento merecido, ¿verdad? Por sus grabaciones and everything. But then COVID came, and everything stopped for a while.
Yes.
So we did another one. Well, actually, during COVID, we already had all the trophies and stuff to the people we were going to recognize. So we just did some small personal awards that we would rent private restaurants. And anyway, we did that, but not a big thing. Like we used to do them at the Mission Event Center, the new one there on
It's
Sherry
very
Road.
nice there, yeah.
So we're looking forward to next year. Si Dios quiere, we'll come back.
Yes,
With the award.
that's a very beautiful event. Anybody that didn't go, you need to. Ya ves, M&E Productions makes an awesome show. And I attended My Tejano Awards, I think in 2022, and it was just it was beautiful, and it was estaba bien bonito, and it's here in the Valley, like you said. We didn't have to go pa Alice, we didn't have to travel. Aquí mero in the Valley. So
Yes.
yes,
So
I look forward
hello.
to those awards.
Yes. So hello to Mike and Estela.
Yes,
They're
saludos.
watching. Hello, Mike. I hadn't seen him in a few months since we came to the Legends Breakfast here in Corpus. It's been several months.
Yeah, last night they had the Latin Breed last night.
Oh,
That's
wow.
right.
It was a great dance. Of course, the Latin Breed is the Latin Breed. Y Los
Yeah.
Federales, otro grupo de aquí. And in November, they're going to celebrate their 20th anniversary of making dances.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
But that's going to be at the Far Event Center on North Gates, the big hall.
The big
And
one.
va a venir Grupo Aviso with van a traer a Agustín Ramírez, and viene Latin Breed again, y ¿quién más viene? Un mariachi, y los Laytons también, they're gonna be there. It's gonna be a
Oh,
great show.
nice.
Oh, and November you
What about the
November 16, November
said?
16, Monday?
and what about the tribute band? ¿No van a tocar ustedes?
No, no, ya
Oh.
no hay campo. No,
Okay.
who knows? We don't know because they're still working on the schedule. They're trying to extend the hours porque it's a lot of entertainers already there, right?
That's
So
true.
we might, if they, si acaso they start earlier, whatever, more hours, who knows? We might.
I'm gonna have to write that down. Every time I see Mike, I tell him because it's been years and years. I've never been to a dance. I just am not there on those weekends, or if I'm there, I'm doing something else with family. And I tell him the next one. But I bet you this one's gonna sell out pretty quick.
It is.
Oh
In
yeah,
October-
they've been doing.
They
in
sell
October-
out.
I'm sorry, in October van a traer a Marcos Orozco again. No me acuerdo qué fecha es, pero es en October. And ahí, hablando de eso, Mando San Román and myself, I help him MC there, right? Nomás to have my hands in the business, right?
Yeah.
I see all my friends there,
See.
I'll
No,
bet
yeah,
those
but it's real
ones-
nice, and a shout out to M&E Productions, porque
Mhm.
they're keeping, and I think they're part of keeping Tejano alive, and maybe even bringing it back, because with all their Tejano artists that they bring, and they're packing them in. Mike Flores was telling me that they had to turn people away. I don't know about this past weekend, but the weekend before, they had to turn people away because it was packed in there. So
they had Pio Treviño and also Agnes Torres, the new variety band.
yes,
It was packed.
It was awesome. I was watching some of the videos. And yeah, just sharing real quick, anybody watching on Facebook, it's M&E Productions. And all the information for their dances are there. And it was Mike's birthday. I'm looking at their page right now. Happy belated birthday, Mike.
Oops!
Right.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Birthday 4 days ago, but I did tell him happy birthday on Facebook. Anyway, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Very exciting.
Bueno, ya se nos llegó la hora, Mr. Balde Muñoz. We promised just 1 hour this time. Because I know we can go on another hour easy.
It's
Is
a
there anything
pleasure.
else?
It's a pleasure. Si me permites, I've been thinking about something, Gigi. Remember I told you that Los Únicos from the 70s, who was Mel Villarreal, the late Snowball, Oscar Solis, Tacho Rivera, and myself. I feel that we have like a family tree in the Tejano industry. Speaking about our music, and I wanted to. I don't know. I feel proud that I was part of all this, right? A part of Los Únicos, which to me, como le digo, I'm not bragging or anything. It's just a fact that I think if you look out there, we left hundreds of LPs, right? With all the bands. If you don't mind, I want to mention a few, like a little breakdown that
Por favor, it's for historical purposes. Please do.
There were Los Únicos, like I mentioned, was 5 guys, right? Mel Villarreal, Pacho Rivera, Oscar Solis, Late Snowball, and myself, Balde Muñoz. And back in 75, we, como amigos, nos separamos. We started Snowballing Company, and Mel y Tacho kept Los Únicos, and it was, we did a contract and all this legal stuff, right? But anyway, we're como hermanos hasta la fecha, gracias a Dios. So, de ese tree de Los Únicos salió Mel y Tacho Rivera de Los Únicos, right? And then ellos, después Tacho went on his own. So it's more music coming from the Los Únicos. So Tacho had a band called Tequila, and then he, I guess, changed members or something. que era another band called Caras. Right?
Papi was in that band, yeah.
See, and then later him and Tacho Rivera and the late Snowball formed a band. So it's more music, right? Going down. Y
Wow.
Yeah,
nosotros,
it was called Snowball y Tacho Rivera, right?
sí,
Papi
exactly.
was in that band too.
También. So then on the other half of the spectrum or whatever, the band de Los Únicos, cuando nos separamos in 1975, era Snowball, late Snowball, Oscar Solis, and myself. That's when we introduced the late Laura Canales into the Tejano Onda, full time, ¿verdad?
Mhm.
As our vocalist, and of course Snowball sang and everybody sang, right? So from there, después Snowball went solo. He did mariachi, he did rock and roll, he did all kinds of stuff, right? Because he was very, very talented también. And then we formed, cuando Snowball se salió de Snowball and Company, yo le puse el nombre de Grupo Felicidad with the late Laura Canales.
Yeah.
So we left a lot of albums también, ¿verdad? And then from there, in 85, pues Laura went and did her own thing and went back to school. Y yo le puse Fandango USA, right? Of course, with Felicidad, we changed the name to Laura. I wanted to feature her name up front. So Laura Canales del Grupo Encanto. And then, of course, se fue in 85. And 86 started Fandango. And Fandango USA. Actually, it was only Fandango, el nombre. But después I heard que in Mexico there was a Fandango. They were girls, of course. They didn't look like us, right? And we didn't look like But anyway, so I added the USA, Fandango USA. So I had Hugo Guerrero as a vocalist. Hugo Guerrero left. He formed Hugo Guerrero Party Band, so he recorded a lot of stuff. Then he joined Snowball, and they had a tough band, I think, Snowball and
Wow.
Hugo and Frankie Caballero Jr. I don't know, a whole bunch of geniuses out there, right? Y pues nosotros seguimos con Fandango USA, and I had all these different singers I mentioned, which I recorded a lot of more albums, and of course with Maritza. And then Oscar Solis, they formed Romance, and they left a lot of memories also. Great.
Oh yeah.
So I feel that from the source with Los Únicos, I think I'm proud to say actually that we left, even though I didn't record all those songs, but we left a little legacy or something, right?
Absolutely. A big legacy.
It was, yeah, Unicos was like the root. And
The
from
root.
there grew a tree, the music that is unforgettable and is part of our history. With all those people, with all those bands that came from esa primera mata, esa primera planta.
And absolutely. My dad always describes, and I've said it before, so I'm sorry to be a broken record. He says Los Únicos were like the Eagles of Tejano music. They did things that nobody had done before, and they did it in a style that everybody loved, and that it's classic, and it's always going to be good, and always going to be, its own unique style. And you influence everybody, and look, like you said, all the bands that come after Los Únicos, that's over 10 more bands. I was writing them down. I'm going to go back and make it. No, I'm very visual. I want to go back and, can you imagine? That would be
I think we're looking at our biographer, Lori Jean.
The thing is that in Los Únicos, I guess we all had a entrepreneurship, mind. I want to do this on my own. Everybody did on their own. Cada uno de los cinco hicimos algo, separados, ¿verdad? Pero I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting to mention it, right?
It's fascinating.
There's many other bands who, se sale el cantante y se va solo, pero los demás, they fizzle away or whatever, right?
See?
Pero it was kind of interesting to me, so, and I'm proud of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is something to be proud of.
Yes, yes.
You
Con
guys.
eso me despido.
Oh, well, that's a great. That's a great way to do that, to wrap it up. That's incredible.
I just want to thank you. Spoke about Fandango also. I want to thank all the members of Fandango que I was blessed to have shared the stage with. And there's a lot to mention, but wherever they're at, pues God bless them and que les vaya bien a todos, ¿verdad? And you, thank you very much for having me again. And hopefully I know people are going to be joining your show more and more and more, right? Y ojalá que muchos artistas más vengan, ¿verdad? Porque ya han tenido the cream of the crop, in your show. But there's a lot more.
Falta Mel Villarreal, falta Tacho Rivera, falta Mario Sáenz, falta los de Romance, and I've talked to all of them, pero pues, since it's once a week.
Sí, pues you had Elsa García también. Elsa. Un saludo para Elsa García.
Yes. And everybody, thank you to everybody that's been on. And Gigi, thanks for having me on today. It's kind of hard for me to do every Sunday sometimes with my schedule is weird. And I have grandkids and it was birthday season. Every week we've had 1 or 2 birthdays in a week and we're not finished yet.
Somebody asked me what happened to Lori Jean. She didn't go on. And I said, well, she's got 3 grandkids and another one on the way, and they're like, she's a grandma. I'm like, she's a grandma.
Oh, well, it's a filter, sir.
So there you go.
Both of you look very young.
When your kids grow up and you try, like my kids are grown, and I try to work around their schedule. They work, and it's funny when they have their work schedule, and I try to work around them, and then now there's babies, and then of course. I'm working on several things with my dad. I know that every day is a gift. And
he's going to have to come back on to talk to us about that project, that secret project he keeps mentioning.
Well, we're working on it. And so we're just excited. I'm excited to be just a part of any chance that I get. So thanks, Gigi. I'm sorry. Anybody out there, I don't mean to be. I'm not being a no-show. It's just... when we have things in the family, they're usually at my house. Or
no, it's family first.
Or with anyhow.
So, Mr. Balde Muñoz, I really appreciate you coming on again to do our part 2. And, of course, I think we'll do part 3, 4, 5. Pero, and thank you for doing that tribute band and spearheading that, because that's going to be awesome. And that is something that I think we really could use to kind of pick up the Tejano and saludos to Lalo Reina and yourself, because I started with the Tejano Legend Pioneers, and then through Lalo Reina we started the Tejano Music Legacy Foundation, and that now we're going into the schools. We've started Tejano in Edinburgh School District, the pilot program, which I think your dad's going to help out with, Lori Jean. And Dios quiere. And qué más que ustedes meros, los leyendas, to be saying this is our music, this is our culture, esto es nuestro, and so you're doing the tribute band. Well, maybe you're gonna need to go play for the young kids and get them out there. Es algo bien bonito que están haciendo. And it's a wonderful thing that you're doing, Mr. Balde. Que Diosito te siga ayudando and blessing you for everything that you're doing. Because I think you're like I mentioned it before, you're the quiet giant of Tejano music. No hasta que comienzas a platicar y decir, and people's like, what? He was part of this. He was part of that.
You're humble. You're so humble, sir. And I think that that's a factor that makes you successful in the bands that you create. And you inspire so many, your groups did inspire so many. And I have to mention on that note, and I'm sorry, I know we're trying to despedirnos. My dad's watching.
Saludos, Don Chilo.
Saludos, Balde.
Saludos, Cecilio.
He says, good to hear your story. Inspiring as always.
Yes.
No, pero I must congratulate both of you because, of course, of the show. Pero también, Lori Jean, I know you're recording, so we're waiting for that.
We're working on it. We're trying to get down there. So I get down there, and then Gigi, I come and go. And thank you for mentioning that.
Gigi, congratulations on your foundation. And what you're doing with the school district is great, because el tipo de música que van a aprender es la onda tejana, ¿verdad? Si Dios quiere, ¿verdad? Poco a poquito, keyboards with horns, and lo que falta ahorita en las escuelas, ¿verdad? Hay mariachi, hay conjunto, hay hasta banda, ¿verdad? Pero
Yes.
falta lo tejano, ¿verdad? Lo tejano,
Yes.
lo que nosotros tocábamos, ¿verdad? Que no se muera. And
No, que no se muera.
thank you, Gigi, Lupe Vasquez, and of course, all the people from the school district in Edinburgh. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
Nelinda Villarreal, Fine Arts Director in Edinburgh, who let us go in there and do that. She already wanted to do it, so when we came in and asked, it was perfect. So Dios quiere y todo salga bien, and more schools go on board, just like what your dad did. Don
That is
Chino did.
awesome, and he speaks the world of her. So I'm excited to meet her. They've done the Conjunto program in La Jolla, and look what's become of it, with you. And he's had people like you. He had people. Did you go and help Mr. Balde? Didn't you go to?
We played for your dad there at the school one time.
And that's what helps is these kids. They're so talented, just like you guys were so young. And imagine, I know we're trying to despedirnos, but
I know, right?
The documentary that for the Edinburgh North Mariachi, and who did they feature? They feature La Jolla and Roma, and you're right, exactly right, Mr. Balde. That music is out there, but these kids, they're like sponges. They're so talented. And Gigi, what you're doing is awesome. That
Pues si os quiere, maybe they're at Economides High School. A lo mejor comienzan con la charanga. Why not? Why not?
And then it's amazing. It's amazing. But thank you, sir.
Yes, con eso nos
Thank you very
despedimos.
much. Gracias a todos ustedes y pues un abrazo y un saludo a todos los que nos estuvieron viendo, los que nos vean en el futuro, pues
Yes.
un abrazo acá de su humilde servidor Balde Muñoz desde el Valle de Texas.
Yes. And thank you again, everybody that's watching. Again, we're going to remind you that you can go into Giras y Desveladas on YouTube, and you can find us on, can you help me out here, Lori? Where else can you find us?
On Facebook at Giras y Desveladas or at Gigi La Chicana. I post on my page as well, Lori Jean, Con Amor Events and Entertainment. And of course, the Hano TV will play this episode all week long. And every time I watch, I'll see something different, and then I'll go back and look up things that you mentioned and songs and bands, and gosh, it's really awesome. Thank you, sir, for sharing again with us.
Well, thank you,
Thank you, everybody. Y con eso nos despedimos. It reminds me of me despidiéndome de mi tía, una hora saliendo y luego otra hora en el carro.
Where's the plates? Where's the plates of food? I'm gonna go find the barbecue.
No, you forgot las tortillas y bueno, con esto sí nos despedimos. Thank you so much. Saludos a todo, and I'm gonna leave with a let's see, with a goodbye and a reminder to everybody to come back next Sunday. Who do I have? No me acuerdo. But I'll post it as soon as we do. So I'm going to show the outro, and then we'll be out. So see you guys. Thank you for watching. God bless everybody. Take care. Ya nos vemos si Dios quiere.
Bye.